So, y'all want to know about the end of the world? I'm not talking about, theories, but one thing is certain. So what if nothing really happens? What if the world isn't struck by meteors, destroyed by the divine hand of God, or blown to bits by scientists? Well, in the long run, we might sleep. Not just for the nights, but also during the day. We might even sleep our entire lives from birth to death without ever waking up. What's more, the survival of our species may depend on it. Luckily, it'll take some time before it gets to that. Something like 100 trillion years to be precise. Our universe expands. Ever since the Big Bang blew all matter, space, and time into existence, the universe grows. The universe expands and cools, much like the fire cloud after an explosion gets bigger and colder. And that's exactly what astronomers see as they study the sky. All stars we see rush away from us and from each other at tremendous speeds. But time is ticking. According to the latest insights, the expanding and cooling of the cosmos will go on and on and on. Galaxies and stars will be further and further apart. Stars will slowly become dimmer as they move out of sight. The night sky will become darker and darker, and darker still until there's absolutely nothing to be seen. What's more, stars die. After a life cycle of several to many millions of years, depending on their size, every star is destined to spew out its last bit of energy and collapse, becoming a cold neutron star, or white dwarf, or black hole. As time passes, this will happen to more and more stars, creating a universe full of burnt-out dead stars and black holes. The matter on our planet, of course, is finite, and in the nothingness of the faded-out universe, matter is hard to get at. It's either beyond the reach or eaten up by black holes, and there is no more particles raining down on our planet from solar radiation, meteors, or cosmic dust. In the long run, we have to come up with something to adapt to our new environment. By adapting means more than getting used to cold feet and being able to be seen in total darkness. It means cutting drastically on our energy bill. First, we'll have to get rid of our bodies. No, really. Our carbon-based bodies are very vulnerable to cold, and they get damaged even when the temperature drops only a few degrees. It's absolutely certain there's no way life as we know it can survive for a substantial period of time in the expanding universe. But that's not the big deal. Princeton physicist Freeman Dyson and others suggest we only had to transport our consciousness into something else, a cyborg, an interstellar cloud of particles maybe. With 100 trillion years ahead, we have plenty of time to come up with something. So okay, grudgingly, you've turned yourself into a cyborg. In the long run, even that isn't enough. For one thing, thought itself costs energy. Just think of your computer doing its calculations. The thing simply wouldn't run if it didn't have it connected to a power source. What's worse, if the universe gets colder still, this brings out other very weird physical problems of its own. Speed of thought will drastically decline in extreme cold. Dyson demonstrated. So there you are. You have decided to become a cyborg, and now you find out you're so slow in it. And when the temperature drops even further, there's no more trouble facing us poor former humans. It'll be so cold even a cyborg would get into trouble. A point comes when organisms cannot lower their temperature any further without becoming less complex, in effect, dumbing down. Before long, life could no longer be regarded as intelligent. It's here where the sleep comes into play. As Dyson calculates, there's only one possible way to survive. We hibernate. By sleeping, our metabolic rates will drop, and we will be able to achieve even lower body temperature. In fact, by spending an increasing fraction of our time asleep, eternal life would probably be possible. So you've become a slow-thinking robot that's asleep most of the time. Still, even that may not be enough. For example, what kind of alarm clock would you set to wake up? Your alarm clock would have to operate reliably for a long, long time, using less and less energy. A curious, but scientifically speaking, dead serious problem. That no physicist has been able to answer yet. Then there's the problem of thought. In the early 1980s, computer researchers realized that, in principle, it's possible to design a computer that doesn't dissipate any energy while processing information. Isn't that great news for all those dominant cyborgs to come? No, it isn't. To function, this computer, that is only theoretically possible so far, must never, never discard any information. If it does discard only one bit of information, it will be like pulling the plug out of a bathtub. It would use up energy while calculating even more. But thoughts are finite. Information is by definition stored in a finite amount of particles. Even in your cyborg brain, there will come a point where you wouldn't have to discard old information in order to store something new, and that is a problem. All organisms would ever do is relive the past, having the same thoughts over and over again. Cosmologists Lawrence M. Krauss and Glenn D. Starkman estimate eternity would become a prison, rather than an increasingly receding horizon of creativity and exploration. It might be nirvana, but would it be living? No, probably not. There you go, Mr. Cyborg, constantly sleeping, and when awake, only rethinking old thoughts. Perhaps it's best our world is swallowed by one of those big, mean black holes after all.